What it do? How are you? What is up, my Saucy Flight crew? I'm your host with the most sauce this evening, Saucy Johnny Boy, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why I started streaming in the first place. There's a lot more to go on, but I'm just gonna shorten it down to where, like, what affected me the most, and essentially what made me do it. You know, I'd always had this idea. I'd done YouTube prior, but I feel like you guys might find this a little interesting. I could have been doing a lot more, and I don't regret my decision. That's all I'll say. So let's get started. But in the beginning, I started streaming as an outlet. I did a couple streams here and there. I just did it for fun. And I just gotten into senior year of high school. And with my addictions, I'd stopped smoking weed because I smoked a lot. I'd stopped fucking smoking weed. I locked in. And this was during COVID, so I was locked in regardless. All I can do is just focus on my grades, focus on my future. And I'd never gotten good grades until that year. I honor rolled. I had never done that in any of my years of high school. I basically passed school just by pure, I showed up. That's it. But towards the end of it, you know, I was finishing my classes, still had some work to do, and my teachers wanted me to look into college because there's a few subjects that was really good at, but I only was good at it so I can get out. You know, it wasn't because it was my hobby or anything. And they didn't talk to anybody else. They had me in a Zoom meeting with this college advocate or whoever. They literally pulled me aside, and it was all of even my fucking principal. I was so scared. I'm like, oh fuck, what did I do? And they were trying to convince me to, like, hey, we really think this is something that'd be good for you. And I was very hesitant, but I ended up signing like a bunch of papers. I was doing FAFSA. I was fucking kissing hands and shaking babies. And like a week or so after, I'm gonna call it the college recruiter because it felt like a fucking military thing. She hit me up and asked if I was ready to send it all through, because I would have gotten accepted in a heartbeat. Like they I guess the other college was like, yeah, no, we want him. Like, I'm like, how does that work? I didn't even put my shit through. No, they were like, no, they had people that were really trying to get me in. But there was complications. It would have been harder to do anything if I went to college, because I have a family to take care of, things to do. There was money that was needed. I didn't want to live life trapped doing classes and shit for something I was not, that I was good at, but I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. And during this time, like I said, I had started streaming to get out of my addictions. I had started streaming to have an outlet to give me a reason to not go do anything else. Like, if I'm feeling this way, start streaming. And I had a whole schedule. I was going crazy, man. And essentially, right before even, I was on that call with the lady, and I opted out of going to school. And I was focusing on myself, and I was celebrating my newfound life of not being a dickhead. And I told her, like, this is what I told her, and y'all are gonna give me shit for it. Mainly why I didn't want to go is I told her I wanted to stream. And she scoffs, like, she's like, what? Like, she sits up in her chair in the Zoom class, and she asks, like, are you sure? Like, it's a hard gig, and, you know, it's not reliable. And I agreed. But I gotta start somewhere. And at this point, I had already amassed a fairly large following. Like, for me anyway, in like such a short time. And at that time, like, me and her, we went our ways, and I continued to stream consistently for about a year and a half. It was a full-time job. I was never happier, you know. And they called and checked on me throughout the year and asked how my career choices treating me, and they saw that I had a fire in my eyes. Like, they saw that I was livid. I'd never enjoyed anything like that much. And I was just me talking about it in my community, the fun I've had talking to people, playing with them, and creating something everyone else enjoyed. It kept me out of bad habits for a really good while. And then I got my first job. At first, it was just for fun to get the experience, and I was 18. So I had started actually working when I was 18. And when I was streaming, I actually made good money, and that's another thing. They're asking me, how have you made money? I'm like, I've actually made enough. I bought all my equipment, I fixed it, I built the computer, I was able to do all this. But I had to get my first job, and I saved some money because, you know, I heard that, you know, money's running low, because when we moved here, we had a little bit of money from selling the houses, and that didn't last very long. And so I saved up, and it was only a part-time. It wasn't anything full. And the problem that happened during this time is I had also found love. A relationship that I had high hopes for, and it went down quickly. We were dating for almost pretty much a year, and it was a living girlfriend, chick I essentially moved in, and I'm gonna be real, and even my community, the rest of my community will tell you all, is it prevented me from streaming. Like the quality dropped, the times went away, and I always stopped. Like I'd be in the middle of a stream and I'd have to adhere to something, and you saw that I was reluctant. And that wasn't even the main problem why we broke up. That was just fucking top of the fuck. That was like tip of the iceberg. And then the breakup happened. That hurt. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stream. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. I was pretty much like a fucking shell. I was in a shell for that whole few months, almost a year. All because of a woman. And I wasn't myself on top of that. There was financial disputes around, and I couldn't put time into what I loved because I was working multiple jobs. I literally just started panicking, trying to work. And I still streamed often enough as I could. Like, I still did try to get in and just rant, and it worked. It was working. But a few months go by, and another relationship sparks. Work is still shit, but I thought I had found hope. And I was back into streaming during that. Granted, during that time, I was traveling because I had a new job. One of the jobs I got, and that's going to be story time for later, alright? But, I had found the groove until it all happened again. I had lost the job, got sent back down, had to rebuild. Excuses? Maybe. But reality hit again, and again. And the only few reasons why I'm not actively streaming now is, number one, my computer can't handle it, and I don't really know how to fix it. And the other thing is, when I had gotten a new job after I traveled, I was working pretty much 40 hours. I wanted to focus on work in my life. I was pretty much trying to make sure that I kept it. It was like boot camp at that new job. But it's almost been 2 years since I've last streamed. It's about time that I end that Corey Kenshin break and come back to my home. My home is streaming. There's not a day that goes by where I don't think about turning on that camera, pressing go live, and just sitting there. But technology scares me. Life scares me because I don't know what's gonna happen. I could start for a week and then something else happens. But I'm not gonna let any of that. I'm not gonna let my feelings stop me ever again from streaming. I can't let it stop me from doing anything I want to do in my life. But I just want to let you guys know that it's okay to take a break and stop doing things. But you need to come back. What made you fall in love with the process to begin with? Romanticize it. Enjoy it. And just come back.